Hello, and welcome to the Western Sydney Recovery College. My name's Annie West, and I'm the Education Officer with the college. At the moment, our world has changed beyond our wildest imagination, and sometimes it seems a bit hard to find something familiar to anchor us. We all feel this. For this reason, we thought we would share with you some of the things that we're doing for our own emotional self-care. It will be a bit different for all of us. What works for one person might be a bit different for someone else. We encourage you to find the thing that works for you and do something for your own emotional self-care each day. My self-care is my dogs. They keep me away from too much social media, they get me moving around outside, and they're always up for a cuddle and having a stick thrown for them in our small backyard. Remember, we're all in this together. Take care of yourself, your family and your community. Now, over to our educators and our staff to tell us what they're doing for their self-care.
Hi everyone, I'm Patricia. And during this time, it can be difficult in self-isolation, especially for carers. It is important to try and stay calm as we try and keep things together at home. I've got a little acronym I wrote on my fingers with my lipstick because the kids are self-isolating and I had to come to the car. It says calm, and so the C, I promise to commit time to myself. 20 minutes a day where my mind can be just completely occupied by reading or learning something new or restoring something at home, and I dedicate that to myself every day so that I can be completely distracted from everything around me, and it just helps me re-centralize my thoughts and get back to what I usually do around the house. We go into the A, and I think activity is important. If it is a little walk or some work in the garden or something you even love to cook to keep you busy, keep your mind busy as well, makes us feel good afterwards. The L, we all need a lot of love, and so reaching out can be difficult, whether it's cuddling a pet that you have at home or sending a text message or making a phone call. It can all help get us through the day. And then finally, I do a small bursts of meditation throughout the day. I'll stop, I'll close my eyes and do some deep breathing and some stretches for 5 minutes when things get a little stressful throughout the day. And even though the day seems so long, I try and look for good little things in between the times that make me smile, and know that tomorrow might be the same again, but there's always something different to make us smile, or a memory or something to look forward to make our day special. Thanks for listening. Let's all enjoy this as much as we can until it's over.
Hi everyone. So today I wanted to briefly chat about self-care. Specifically, I want to talk about what I do to help me remain sane. With everything that's going on right now, I feel it's become even more important to focus on our own mental health. For me, when news of the pandemic broke and it started becoming even more intense, like when my university closed and everything moved online, when work events and things I did for self-care, like gym and meditation, got cancelled, I felt as though I was suffering from corona anxiety. I didn't know how to deal with it at first, so I started reading a lot online about things I could do to help me. I tried, and I'm constantly trying to listen to my body and my mind, to validate my feelings, and also notice the kind of things that are going wrong in my head. I also realized how important it was to establish a structure and keep it constant regardless of what was going on. How important it was not to endlessly scroll through social media just because I was bored or procrastinating. And also how important it was to keep being social despite the physical distance barriers in place. For example, I've scheduled a few Skype dates with friends. I try to stay in my study room throughout the day and work on uni and other things. I also try to work out in the evenings using my favorite apps. On the times when I do find myself really bored or lazy or out of sorts, I'm trying to strike up a balance between giving myself the space to have a rest and also challenging myself to broaden my skills and my mind. So I've looked at a few podcasts, meditation recordings, online courses, and so I might try those instead. Essentially, I want to acknowledge that this is a really hard time. This is an adjustment, not just for me, but for everybody in terms of their personal and their professional lives, and also for our economic and health systems at large. But I want to focus on what's within my control, what I can do to help make others around me and myself feel a little bit more at peace, and kind of used it as an opportunity to invest in my values and my goals. So that's all of my self-care perspective, so to speak. Thank you.
Hi everybody. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Paul Kremen, accredited exercise physiologist and professional educator at Western Sydney Recovery College. Most of us know the importance of physical exercise for good mental health. With this in mind, I'd like you to try 3 different exercises that I do for self-care. They're easy to do, they require no equipment, and you can do them at home. I hope you enjoy them too. Stay strong. Tai Chi exercise 1, regulating the breath. Taking the breath in, raise the arms, breathing out, lowering down and bending the knees. We're going to do this exercise for 1 minute. Tai Chi exercise 2, expanding the chest. Take the arms up, breathing in, breathing out, bring them down, bend the knees. Breathing in. Do this exercise for 1 minute. Expanding the chest. As if the arms are moving through water. Exercise 3, swaying the rainbow. Taking the arms to the side, take a breath in, breathe out, bend the leg to the side. Breathing in, straighten the legs, breathing out, bend the leg to the side. Do this exercise for 1 minute. As if the arms are flowing through water.
Hello. Self-care in the time of coronavirus. For me, self-care is really about sticking to routine. I can't really start my day without having had a shower. I can't let my hair go for more than 2 days without washing it. So just the little things that make you feel better about being in your own body and stuff like that is really helpful. I'm trying really hard to stick to a routine when I'm working, so I'll try and start work at around 9 o'clock. Because I'm at home, I might make myself something for lunch. The other thing I'm trying to do is to get a bit of exercise. It's raining today, so I'll hopefully do a bit of yoga in the afternoon, just so that I'm doing something to move my body and make myself feel better. If it wasn't raining, I'd probably go for a bit of a walk in the evening, maybe when other people are hopefully having dinner. Just sticking to a few sort of routine things, making sure that I move my body and look after my body makes me feel better in my head. I just wanted to add that Something I've noticed about myself is sometimes I oversaturate myself with news, especially when there's an issue going on like the current coronavirus issue or bushfires in the past. So what we are doing at home is limiting our news in the evening to just the first few minutes of the 7 p.m. ABC news, just so that we're getting the most up-to-date and important information that we need. As soon as we have had enough, we'll both agree that we've had enough of watching the news and we'll watch something else for a while. And I'm also making sure that I pin important feeds or pages on my Facebook. So for example, with the bushfires, I made sure that I would see posts from the SES and the RFS straight away if I checked in on Facebook, so that if there was important update that I needed to see, I would see that first without having to scroll through loads of information on Facebook, and that I could basically look at that and then switch Facebook off if I needed to limit my use of Facebook during that time. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Anne and I'd like to talk to you about self-care. Self-care is really important and it's something that we all need to do to look after our own mental health and well-being. Ideally, self-care should be something you should be able to fit into your normal everyday routine. For me, one of the things that I like to do for my self-care is to have a cup of tea, and I do that quite frequently during the day. And also when I'm having my cup of tea, sometimes I'll do some colouring in as well. So recently I've done this colouring in, I've also done this colouring in, and I find that by the time I've had my cup of tea and done some colouring in, I feel so much better. So I encourage you, the next time you're having a cup of tea or coffee, try doing some colouring in for your own self-care. Most importantly though, please make sure you're doing some self-care on an ongoing basis to make sure you're looking after yourself. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name's Catherine Clark. I'm one of the new educators at One Door Mental Health. Some of you might remember me from classes on self-advocacy and on what is recovery. I just wanted to make this video so that I could share with you some of the things that I've been doing that have been helping me at this time, and also just so I can let you know that I'm thinking of all of you and I can't wait to engage with you in a new way. So some of the things that I've been doing have been going for a walk. I've been trying to get out each day, get some sun. I really like basic, simple things, making a nice cup of tea for myself when I need to, listening to some music, you know, going through my record list from when I was younger and listening to music that I forgot that I really loved, writing lists about movies that I've forgotten that I love or they haven't seen yet. I've also really needed to connect with people. I'm not the most extroverted person, but being mostly at home, it makes me realize that I do actually like to connect, and it's one reason why I will miss the classes in person with all of you. So I really encourage people to kind of push yourself to learn about maybe new online social media apps. One app that is quite fun that I've been using is called House Party. It's an app that you can get on your phone. It's free to download.
It doesn't matter how together someone seems, we all have to take care of our mental health. Doesn't matter if you have a diagnosis of a mental illness, whether you're a carer, and we all are in some way. We care for the people around us, we may care for animals, we may care for the people that we care about in our families, in our lives. Part of being a good carer, part of being someone who cares for themselves, is to make sure you're looking after your physical and your mental health. So the things that I do to look after my mental health is I do a lot of art, I do a lot of drawing. You'll see my clothes, I'm covered in paint. I've got paint on my arms because I've spent today painting and making things. One of the tricks I've done is picked up little bits and pieces that I find anywhere and I think, oh, could I make something out of that? The other thing that I do is I feed my animals every day. If you look just here, I have a tray that I made with my partner, and every morning, the first thing I do when I get up is I put seeds on it for the birds in my local area. And they all know now, so when I whistle, they all come flocking. Yesterday in this tree up here, we had 8 rosellas. And that's been, I've lived in this house for a few years now, and it's taken a little while for me to be at a point where the birds know now that when I come outside and I make that whistle, it means that the seeds have arrived. The other thing I do is I do it first thing in the afternoon. Something that I find, everyone has different little tools they use, but one tool that I've used throughout my entire life of working and even in my personal life is I get dressed when I get up in the morning. That may seem strange because how great are tracksuit pants or pajamas? But when I start not doing that, I can feel myself getting into a different headspace. The other thing that I do is at the end of my workday, I get out of the clothes I wore to work. So while I'm stuck at home, that's still really important. So keeping those little routines is actually really valuable to your day. Making sure I keep a regular pattern of life. So I'm someone who likes to sleep in the morning, and it's actually really important that I don't, because I find that if I lose that routine, I start feeling foggy in my head, I start feeling a bit tired, I struggle more during the day. The other thing that I have is I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and I have goldfish and I have some koi fish. And for me, part of my self-care is looking after those animals in my home and hanging out with them. You know, playing with my dog, just getting myself out of the routine that I've kind of gotten myself stuck into. So tell us about the things that you're doing for yourself. What self-care tools have you picked up over the years?
Hello out there in Western Sydney Recovery College land. I'm Robin, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the self-care that I do now that we're all self-isolating and making sure that we're keeping the nation safe and not spreading COVID-19 or even getting infected. So what I like to do in terms of self-care is I like to use my beautiful little ukulele to play around and have a bit of fun with some songs. I also like to do a bit of painting, writing in my journal, painting on the outside of the journal, make it all very nice and pretty, or even doing some other types of painting that sort of keeps your fancy. But I thought I'd finish on a little song called Let It Go, because I often like to play this song when things are a bit tough, and you know, I think it's a bit inspiring. So here we go, hey? Sometimes you gotta let it go. Oh, it hurts you deep in your soul. Another day comes with the dawn. It's another chance of moving on. Sometimes you've gotta let it go. When the good is gone, what can you do? You can kick and scream it back to you. Another day comes with the dawn. It's another chance of moving on. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Take care. See you next time. Bye.